And that is because it is almost the perfect crime. Think about it. Because it is not illegal for somebody to offer you a free ride, regardless of whatever their intentions are with you. Once you get in the building a map, and this is you now on my map. So what you're looking at is black is where people were found in rivers or lakes. Purple is where
we needed any more proof that what Ken is doing is really just a marketing strategy for his app. Here it is.
To show you what I've been working on. For the last 8 months or so, I've been building this app called Foresight.
Ken has betrayed my trust, and I'm no longer following him for updates on what's happening in Chicago.
Somebody just knocked on my door, and it's 8:30 at night on a Sunday, and so I go and I check in, and it's not someone I know, and so I open it, I'm like, what's up? And they're like, hey, my name's X, and I'm a private investigator looking into the smiley face group.
Solving. Don't tell me you caught 2 murderers. You're a liar.
Guys, the smiley face killer gang is after us, and there's only one man who can save us, and he goes by Ken. If you guys have not seen Ken's videos, you are about to be on an absolutely insane web of lies. Just to clarify, the smiley face killer gang is a legitimate gang, so that is not what I'm saying is a lie here. They've been around since like the 1990s. They are 100% real. I don't have much information on the gang in particular, but this guy Ken, he is the worst human being you're gonna see. So Santi, I'm confused. If the smiley face killer gang is real, then what is Ken lying about? And if you were to say that, I'd say, sir, please calm down. We need to relax. Okay, first off, when I first saw Ken's videos, there weren't any major red flags that I saw that made me go, hey, Ken's lying about this. He's just literally making all of this stuff up. I legitimately was invested in the beginning of the videos. I'm going through each one going, damn, he's really involved in these murders. But all of a sudden, every single video would incrementally get more and more weird. His body language seemed off, the way he spoke seemed off, his expressions seemed off, and eventually the stories seemed off. Okay, so let's first start with the first video that gave me real red flags.
Somebody just knocked on my door, and it's 8:30 at night on a Sunday, and so I go and I check in, and it's not someone I know, and so I open it, I'm like, what's up? And they're like, hey, my name's X, and I'm a private investigator looking into the smiley face group, and they asked me if I'd been in touch with a different detective that someone had put me in touch with, so he actually just went back downstairs to secure his parking, and he's gonna come back. He's in a full black suit and everything, so yeah, I think this is about to get very interesting, so I'm just going to post this now as like evidence that somebody just came to my house at 8:30 at night on a Sunday night, literally had not contacted me previously.
Okay, I'm not saying you're an idiot if you believe that video. I'm just saying you're dumb. Okay, first off, no private investigator is showing up at 8 p.m. on a Sunday unannounced to your address that he somehow found out because of your dumb little entertaining TikTok video. And the way he speaks about it, he just seems so insecure about what he's talking about. He's always got like his hand on his face or something like that, and just really finicky with how he talks. Like he knows like he's lying. Like even take this video, which isn't really even a red flag video, but just watch the beginning of it.
One of their victims.
Hey Mark, my name's Ken, and I'm sorry we're meeting like this, but I've probably been tagged in your video over 100 times. I'm not sure if you've seen these comments yet. I actually already messaged you on Instagram, but I have been investigating this and covering this since I was almost taken twice just this year. So there's a couple things that I think you can help me with.
But just the way he responds to everyone and stitches their videos, you can tell that he's really like playing up this role as if he's a private investigator. Like he wants to be one so bad. He's sitting back in his chair, he's got the pen, he's making maps. I think he legitimately enjoys putting on this costume that is being an investigator. He likes the attention, he likes the prize of people thinking he's so intelligent and smart, and I think he's really legitimately getting into the role. I think he really believes it. I don't even know if he knows that he's lying.
Previously, just to put it out there that something's going on, and looks like we're moving fast, so I'll try to update you guys after with what I can. Holy shit, I can't believe this dude just came to my house.
Listen, I'm in the military and I'm not trying to throw that around like, look, I'm cooler than him because my government job is real. My whole point is just that I can assure you that This guy especially, who's trying to legitimize the fact that he's an investigator and being really helpful in this case, would 100% have shown us this private investigator that showed up at his house. And when people asked, why didn't you show us the private investigator? He said, well, he's out moving his car right now, but he'll be right back. That is the modern day equivalent of in elementary school, your friend being like, no, I'm dating a supermodel, but she just lives like far, really far. So this was the point I think the audience started to be like, is he lying? So to make it all worse, right after that video, he makes a follow-up video where he goes and talks about this app called Foresight, where he is the chief marketing officer. So what he's doing is he's using the deaths of other people, trying to turn them into this weird type of mystery so he can promote this horrendous app called Foresight. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Ken and I think Ken's a bad person. I'm saying this because the app is just bad. It's not a good app. I don't understand who would ever want to use it. And even the layout of the app is ugly and gross and it looks bad. The app is like a planner app, by the way. Not really related to this, but it's literally just a planner. But yeah, overall, he's used the clout that he's got off of faking these people's deaths and turning it into mysteries and claiming he's catching serial killers so he can push this app that he's just the chief marketing officer for. It's not even like his app. And there's a couple other TikTokers in particular who are almost as invested as I am in this Ken drama, and they went and looked a little bit into the CEO of the company Foresight. And the CEO of the company was bragging on LinkedIn about how Ken, their new chief marketing officer, is going viral on TikTok and plans to implement more mentions of the app in every single video that he posts. I don't know if the CEO or people at Foresight know what he's posting about, but if they do, they are also to blame and just as disgusting as Ken. But I don't think they care, because as long as they get money, who cares if you're harming the families of people who died? Who cares? Like, keep in mind, he's not making videos that are comedy videos or videos that even have to do with planning. He's literally making up fake scenarios, claiming to be an investigator solving murders, and then getting a bunch of people who probably know the victim's family to go and reach out to them and let them know that their son didn't drown, they were actually murdered. All because a TikToker wants you to download his planner app. He makes videos claiming that he solves murders and is a legitimate investigator, which number one, disrupts an investigation that could be ongoing and just causes more harm with the families of the victim. Like, imagine thinking your son was drowned or whatever happened, and then now all of a sudden you get 600 DMs a day because some people saw Ken's TikTok video saying your son was murdered. But I mean, what else is Ken supposed to do? Actually be good at something, actually be interesting, actually make good content? Ken could never. And I'm gonna get to why this is extremely harmful, and I'm not just making up these scenarios about these families. This already has happened, and it's gonna get worse if people don't realize this dude's a liar. So this is the part where I knew for a fact that Ken was lying. At one point, somebody commented on one of his videos saying that he should be hired by the FBI, because everybody knows FBI agents love to be super public and on social media. But anyways, he replies to this comment and says, actually, the FBI has reached out to me several times to recruit me, and I said no. And most people were able to catch and say, the FBI did not reach out to you, Ken. It's okay. You can relax. You don't need to be good at everything, Ken. So he makes this video proving the FBI, they want him.
The FBI did try to hire me. They actually tried to recruit me twice. Happened. We want you to be a part of the next generation of elite special agents. That was one.
Okay, so let me explain what you just saw. What you just saw is the equivalent for the military when the army people show up at your local high school and you fill out that little card that says, yeah, I'll think about joining. And then they email you saying, we want you to join the military. That's what he got. He reached out to the FBI, probably put an application in online, and he never completes his application. So they keep sending him follow-up emails because they want him to finish his application. It says do not reply. It's an automatic pre-sent email. And he started doing this in 2019, which just reinforces my point that he's wanted to be an investigator or some type of investigative work since 2019. And I think this is the first time he kind of feels like he's doing something of value or something that he's wanted to do. And I stand by this with a lot of different things. If you catch somebody lying, no matter how small or how big, you have learned now that they have the predisposition to lie. Because when you lie, no matter how small the lie is, it leads to bigger things. He had to make this lie up to push this, that he's good at what he does, that he's a good investigator. When he knows deep down, he's subpar, he's average, he's below average at everything he does, maybe making up stories. Okay, so now we're gonna skip to the part where people are starting to realize that Ken is full of stuff. Okay, so a few other TikTokers started to make videos on him, and this one woman in particular really started to shed a light that people started to see. That's actually how I first saw this, and I was suspicious about him, but this just confirmed my belief. And what do you think somebody does when they're not guilty and they're accused of doing something that is pretty bad? Do you think option A, maybe Ken reached out and said, why don't we talk about this and maybe go live on TikTok and we have a good discussion? Or option number two, maybe he sent her proof of all the serial killers that he's caught and solved their murders? Or option number three, block her and threaten to sue her. If you pick option number three, you won absolutely nothing. Yeah, he actually tried to sue her, and I don't know if he understands how to even sue somebody because he's the dumbest human being alive. He sent her a cease and desist, he claims, and he put it on his story, and he doesn't know how to spell the word desist. And I don't know what he would think he is suing for. I assume he's going to go after defamation, but a lot of people don't understand you need to prove that you've lost income due to defamation, and also you need to prove that the statements are not true. And I can assure you, you haven't solved any murders, and you're not an investigator, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So you should probably just take a spelling class, so at least you got something out of this whole cease and desist thing. And that's my second point. He doesn't just claim that he's helping with the investigation, he has legitimately claimed he's caught 2 serial killers. And also, don't forget that the reason he's so organized and able to catch all of these serial killers during this investigation is because he's using foresight, and he's really good at planning because of it. He legitimately plugs his app and says that the reason he's solving a lot of these murders is due to foresight. His planning is so dumb. I mean, dude, who would have known that all we needed to do was download Foresight and we'd have like 100% conviction rate? Dude, nobody would be getting free. So after a couple people started to look at the LinkedIn post of the CEOs or just people who work for Foresight, you wouldn't be shocked that the CEO of Foresight was posting on LinkedIn about how happy he was with his new Chief of Marketing Officer, Ken, who's going viral on TikTok, and they plan to implement more mentions of their brand in his video. But weirdly enough, about a couple hours later, that post was suspiciously deleted. I guess maybe Ken's not gonna do that anymore. Maybe they decided that's not a good idea, or did they realize they're starting to catch on? The CEO or somebody who works for Foresight responded at one point and said something along the lines of Ken posts 7 to 10 posts per week and maybe mentions the app a couple times throughout those posts, and that the reason their app is suddenly getting most of its downloads is because it actually helps people. And I can assure you, based on his post, he posts about it a decent amount. He just started talking about this whole smiley face killer weird scheme mystery thing like a few weeks ago, and he's talked about the app over 4 times. And I can guarantee you, CEO, if somehow you find this video, that nobody is ever going to download your app, regardless of the fact that your marketing is completely immoral and disgusting. The reality is nobody needs an app to plan things. That is so much work when I could just text my friends. And again, the layout looks terrible. Focus less on murder mystery marketing and more on changing the font and layout of your app. Now let's explain the legitimate impact this is actually having on other people. These stories are a little sad, so if you cry easily, don't. First off, if you go to the link in Ken's bio, he's got a couple of great offers. Number one, he has a merch store, which is a great way if you are ever curious on, I don't know how to waste my money. I found a perfect way to do it. I can't imagine more than 2 people have ever purchased a merch from Ken. Secondly, if you ever want to do a collab with Ken, don't worry, it's at the affordable price of $3,500. But don't worry, he's negotiable. And last thing is, if you want to pay for a quick chat with Ken, don't worry, that's more reasonable. It's only $30. And somebody actually took Ken up on this offer. Her son was murdered a long time ago in Chicago. So she ran out of options. She didn't know how she was going to figure this out. So she thought she can trust Ken and sent him this email. She booked a call with him, and guess what? What do you think Ken did to get the award for worst human being on the platform? That's right, he didn't show up. But don't worry, maybe he gave her a refund because, he didn't show up. I mean, that's completely right of him to give her a refund. She sent him an email and just said, hey, can I get a refund? You didn't show up to your appointment. And wait for this, guys. You're not going to believe it. To make it even better, what does he do? What does he do? Does he not give her the money? He blocks her. He blocks this woman who gave him $30 to discuss the death of her child, and when she asks for a refund, he blocks her. Like, what? I know, the award for worst person in 2023, I think it's a landslide. Ken, congratulations. You are finally winning at something. No, but in all seriousness, this is like really, really sad. And I know I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just telling you based on my perception and my opinion of things that this dude seems like a sociopath. I think he is a pathological liar. And even based on the videos where he's not talking about these murders or anything to do with his normal content, just the way he speaks, I can just tell you he's just obnoxious. And he just overall likes to over-exaggerate situations to put himself in a better light. You can tell Ken thinks very highly of himself, and this is why TikTok in general is very dangerous, because of the fact that it's relatively easy to get a small following on TikTok. People who have big egos turn into terrible people after a minor video or a couple videos go viral on TikTok, because they think finally the world is showing them that their perception of themselves is actually who they are. So they turn into terrible people. And I think Ken is one of those people. I think Ken thinks he's a legitimate investigator. I think Ken thinks he's a legitimate content creator. And I think Ken legitimately thinks he's very special. But in reality, he's coasting off of the stories of other people and lying and hurting other families just so he could have some legitimate content to make on his TikTok channel. Listen, I'm prepared to be blocked by Ken after this video, because why take accountability in this day and age when you can just block somebody?
Here are some updates since I edited this video. Ken has come out with an apology, but he essentially takes absolutely no blame and just compliments himself and says how he's such a great person pretty much the whole apology. Then people went through his Twitter history and found out that he had some pretty racist and homophobic tweets that he has now deleted. That is all for now.
Well, anyways, if you like this video, make sure you like this video. If you don't like this video, make sure you hire a private investigator to show up at my house and accuse me of being an undercover FBI agent that receives emails. Anyways, thank you, and have a good day.